Today's program moves on to a subject that, although many people may not notice it, puts us all at great risk: the crisis within families around the world. Carol.
That's right, Cabrini. And every week we hear news of crimes involving parents, children, grandparents, and other relatives, both here and across the globe. Not to mention ongoing issues within family relationships, with daily conflicts leading to increasingly serious consequences.
After all, why has family life become so undervalued in today's world? And how can this be changed? That's what you'll discover in today's episode of A Planet in Danger.
Wars, the constant threat of nuclear weapons, climate change and extreme weather events, earthquakes and new pandemics. All of this puts life on Earth at risk and keeps us on high alert. However, there is an even greater threat, much closer to our everyday lives: the breakdown of family ties.
Addiction problems, many finding it hard to align their schedules because both work. One of the main problems that we find that is affecting families is selfishness. People just thinking about themselves.
Footage of a man taking a child on a bicycle precedes a brutal crime: the murder of a boy in São Gabriel in the state of Rio Grande do Sul.
It was a case of jealousy. It was a case of not accepting the relationship that his ex-partner has currently. And in order to make the mother of the child suffer, he thought that he had to kill the child.
5-year-old Theo Ricardo Felber died after being thrown from a 15-meter high bridge. The main suspect, who, according to police, confessed to the crime, was the very person meant to protect him: the boy's own father, 42-year-old Tiago Ricardo Felber.
He appeared to be a very devoted father because he cared deeply for the boy. He showed a profound love for him, so she would have never imagined he would do this.
Tiago and Abigail Ferreira, Theo's mother, were married for 10 years and got divorced in December last year.
He was arrested at the scene. He will be held accountable for aggravated homicide, committed against a descendant driven by a base motive, along with all other applicable aggravating factors.
Our program reached out to Tiago Ricardo Felber's defense. His lawyer stated that he expects the investigation to proceed carefully, given that it involves a child victim, and to ensure that the truth is clarified. According to him, it is important to take into consideration that a crime committed within the family sphere is often the result of emotional, psychological, and even historical factors.
Look, it's frightening. We don't know exactly what's going on in people's minds, but something is happening.
When a family problem is not solved, it just gets worse. And it's when you see on the news tragedies involving families. This is just a consequence of something they started years ago and was never solved.
A teenager tried to kill his own grandfather to steal his car. A man is arrested for shooting and killing his father, just because they disagreed on how to manage the family company. Cases of extreme violence, which involves crime within families themselves, are happening around the world and are becoming increasingly frequent. To give you an idea, these headlines are just from the past 10 days. Even when there is no extreme violence, many families face real crises at home, with great difficulty in relationships, and a coexistence full of conflicts. What I'm trying to say here is that true family values have been lost for many people. And the greatest institution on the planet throughout history, which should be the safest place, has suffered attacks and lived through dramas that often seem to have no solution.
To say that a family problem has no solution is to give up on it very quickly. When people are asked What is the most valuable thing you have in your life? Usually, you'll say the family. So if you consider something to be valuable, you cannot give up or say that is impossible.
It starts with raising the tone of your voice. Yelling needs to be fought back in the home. Then comes slander, endless arguments, and constant quarrels. And in the midst of these arguments, insults begin to fly. With one person invalidating the other, cursing, this is already verbal violence. From there, it opens the door for physical violence. Hitting, abusing.
Selfishness deeply affected Fabio and Jane's family. You noticed that your family was being destroyed.
Yes, definitely. I was seeing everything falling apart. But at the same time, I didn't know how to get out of that situation. I didn't know.
In my mind, everything was fine. It's like the story goes. You are earning money and achieving what you want. But that's a very selfish thing.
And Fabio almost lost the most valuable thing he had, and he didn't even realize it. A couple holding hands. Who can imagine that there was a divorce involved in their story?
Yes. 27 years later.
You got divorced, and then you married the same woman again?
It's like they say in popular slang, he's nuts to marry the same woman again. It's a joke, but really we started dating again. We went through the whole process as it was meant to be.
Fabio was a successful musician, traveling around the world, spreading his musical genre. He didn't even remember that he had a family.
It wasn't even in the second plan. It was at the bottom of the list.
Yeah, Fabio came first in everything.
That was until the divorce came.
After being cheated on, Jane decided to get a divorce.
The little that he was present at home, it was like he was a visitor. So we didn't have dialogue. We couldn't be like a couple. With the children, they also grew distant. We lost our companionship. There was verbal aggression. There was a lack of appreciation.
Then a feeling came over me. Gosh, I'm destroying a story. I'm doing the same thing my dad did. He abandoned my mum and his children, and life continues. I said, no, that's wrong.
Every emotional, psychological problems that are not well resolved within the person, it ends up being projected in new relationships, and they repeat the same mistakes of their parents because they never resolved the original problem with their family.
With faith and dedication, Fabio demonstrated that he had repented and won Jane back. Life in Amanda and Alex's life was a battle every day. The murder of his brother troubled his thoughts and affected his behavior.
We started drinking and going clubbing. I started getting involved with the world of crime. I ended up diving into this world of easy, and she didn't know that I was involved with synthetic drugs.
With that, Alex grew apart from Amanda and their children, and when he was at home, it was even worse.
I would confront him, pushing and hitting. My life was literally hell. I felt a lot of hatred. Every day that passed, I hated him even more.
Alex was even arrested, but had a second chance. After being released, faith allowed him to rebuild his family.
I say, don't give up. If you love, don't give up.
This is a lack of incentive of taking care of the family and also recognition from the governments, institutions, all means of communication that build the concept of family. That people may understand that family is good, is something positive. I would like to leave a message here for all families. The families may be strengthened. Two things must happen. First is to have faith in the family. Faith that you can change, that your children can change. Second thing, you must practice forgiveness in your home, because many households are being destroyed because of grudges and giving up on each other. You need to forgive and ask for forgiveness.